Okay, in this video we're going to talk about the difference between Excel and SPSS. And if you are not familiar with SPSS, usually people get scared just because they see something terrible. It looks completely different, and I think it is the rocket science, which it is not. SPSS is actually a very simple program, and they developed it exactly for lay people who are not so good in statistics. It has a very simple interface. You have to work with the numbers and dialogues that you constantly have. Those people who work with statistics constantly, they work with the programs like Stata or R, and the others, they really require from you a bit understanding of how a command line works or how the coding works. So in this event, SPSS is really simple. What is then the difference? As you see, it looks very close to what we have in Excel, but in Excel, the focus is set on the simple operation that you can make with these numbers. For instance, you can easily sum all the numbers here in a row. You can just simply say that you would like to have here a sum of all numbers, and you go for the function sum and sum all the numbers that you have here in a row. Yeah, something like this. And you close the brackets, and the sum is here. And you see we have the sum of all the numbers that you had. So we don't have to do it. That's why I'm just going to delete it for now. In SPSS, such a simple operation will take much more time. In SPSS, you will have to compute the variable and do it with the variables, but it usually works in SPSS for all data. SPSS is meant to work with big data files where you don't have to calculate a single sum for one row. You have to calculate all the variables for all the people. That is why they made these functions a bit more hidden. If you want to calculate the same thing here, you have to go to transform, compute variable, and then you can say the variable is called sum, and it will be a sum of, and actually of all the variables that we have. I think we have to add here the bracket. And so on. So I just make it with only BIS scale, click on OK, and the variable occurs, and you have here the sum, and it is calculated for all the numbers for all the people. So that is why SPSS is worse in these simple calculations. And sometimes if you want to make a simple operation with data, then Excel will be superior. And that is why they have hidden all these functions. So if you want to make a simple thing that you do usually in Excel, you have to go for transformation, recoding, computing variables, and so on. But if you want to make statistical analysis, for instance, run an ANOVA analysis or make factor analysis, ANOVA analysis works with Excel, but it is a very painful process, because for Excel, it's not the main task of Excel to run statistical analysis. And that is why if you really want to do something in Excel, it becomes a painful procedure. How you do it with statistics? As you see, simple operations are better done with Excel, but if you want to make statistical calculation, you need to go to data, you need to go to options, and then you need to go to add-ins and wait until they load. You have to add Excel add-ins, and you need to add somewhere here, let's see, or maybe it was in, no, it was in add-ins, and you need to go for the options that you need to analyze functions and analyze using VBA. These are the two functions that you need to add. Then you click OK, I already clicked it, and then if you go to data, you will have here the small button data analysis in English. And if you click on it, then you can only run some of the statistical functions like correlation analysis or covariance analysis or one-way ANOVA or t-test and so on. It is possible, but as you see, it is painful. And if you are going to run an analysis, it will be even more painful. Then you have to specify where it will appear, which side will appear, what exactly you need to take. So we want to analyze, let's say, this data here. You have to do it in this way. So a lot of things that are not meant for statistics. So Excel was not meant for it. That's why for data cleaning, for data opening, working with data, it's really simple to work with Excel. But if you want to make statistical analysis. Some analyses are possible, but for instance, factor analysis is not possible. At least I haven't found how to do it in Excel. But in SPSS, it's very, very simple. What else is the difference between the SPSS and Excel? SPSS is a kind of three-dimensional. So you see the table that you see also in Excel, but you have here also the variable view. And if you click on the variable view, then you see only the first line from the data view, this here. You see this line here, all the variables that we have, and you can add additional data about it. For instance, is it a string, is it a text, or is it a number? What is the size? How many decimals do you want to have? Labels. We don't have labels here because we imported the file from the CSV. It didn't contain labels, but you can also introduce labels here, or the values. Label usually asks what the question was. For instance, for BIS1, the question would be, and Qualtrics would automatically import this text, would be, this is what you would usually see here. Yeah. Let's see whether we can add all of them. It would be great if it would work. It depends on the version of SPSS. Some versions allow to do it, some don't. No, it didn't work. So what a bad idea. And it made it a kind of very large. Let's see whether we can go back and make it small again, because it's not good if we cannot read it. Let's try one more time. We copy all the questions. And let's try to paste all the questions here. If not, there's also workaround. So it didn't work, it copied all the numbers. So one more time. We do it in the following way. We copy it, go to Excel, make a new file in Excel, just enter data here as a simple text, copy it, and now it should work. Hopefully. We go back to SPSS, and now we paste it here, and now it worked. So we have fewer data than initially. I think we used not all the items for all the scales, but as you see, we added additional questions that we didn't have there. Anyway, we had a 20 scale. This is, I think, one of the different versions of the scale that we were using. And more or less, this is how you add the questions here. So I'm going to, let's delete the last 4 because we didn't test them. They were added, but they will be empty. Clear them. And here I can also add values. And we know exactly what 1 meant. And 1 in our event, I think we made reversely coded. 1 was very true to me. Where is the initial scale? I don't exactly remember, but it was very true for me. And 2 is somewhat true for me. So that's why we can add here the labels. Very true for me. Then 2 was somewhat true for me. Then we had the 3 was, I think, somewhat false for me. Let's copy it to make it simpler and faster. And 4 was very false for me. Very false for me. Okay, and the good thing is, of course, you can copy it and paste it everywhere, and theoretically we have the labels now for all the items that we have. We can also say, is it a scale variable, is it a nominal variable? So it is the scale variable. That's why we can be just sure. Actually, it's ordinal if we be very precise, but let's see whether we can also copy paste it here. No, it didn't work. So we have to do it manually. Works not for everything. And then you can make a kind of much better look of your file and have more information that you need. And also in SPSS, not only have this three-dimensional view, but you also have all the functions that you need, like statistical analysis and all different types of statistical analysis here in the Analyze button. And then you can run easily, let's say the one-way ANOVA or the regression analysis. That's what we're going to do in one of the next videos. So for now, you know how to open the file in different programs in Excel and SPSS, and you know what is the difference between Excel and SPSS. In the next video, we're going to talk about data cleaning and the data preparation for the analysis. Then see you in the next video.